Dear faithful communicators, communication is all about intention, about intentionality. It's not just about effects, what happens, but it's also about, and firstly about, intention. What do we intend or desire when we communicate? When we listen? When we speak? When we text? What do we intend? Communication is first about intentionality. There's a saying in communication studies that you cannot not communicate. That you cannot not communicate. In other words, the idea is that no matter what you do, you're communicating. And whatever you do affects other people. I can agree that what we might do in front of other people would affect how they view us, how they interpret us, how they think about us or feel about us. In fact, our actions do affect other people, and other people do tend to interpret our actions, but they may not know our intentions. And as Christians, I believe we should say that communication begins with our intentionality, what we want to communicate, what we desire to communicate. Surely there is no perfect communication, at least not here in this broken world. There's no perfect communication. To lay that kind of perfectionism on us for communication is not a good thing. We're going to have blunders. Every day we're going to have blunders. That's just the way it's going to be. There's no perfect communication. But we also have these discouraging habits that we get into, the ways we tend to communicate, the ways we tend to perceive other people, the assumptions that we make, the things that we do that we know we shouldn't do, or that someone else points out to us and we want to change them, but we can't do it so easily. These discouraging habits that get in the way. There is this gap between the way things were originally created as very good and the way they are right now living under the fall. And that gap is also represented by where we are right now and the way things will be in the new heaven and the new earth with complete renewal. And that gap is going to be with us. No perfect communication. Always bad habits that we're working on. We are called, I think, to be skilled communicators, to be as skilled as we can, to be as competent as we can, to communicate with excellence, but also to communicate with the right intention, the right desire, the best for other people, not just ourselves, and for the intention of being subservient to God, to pleasing God with our communication. So, given this gap that we live within, I think it's best that we give each other the benefit of the doubt, rather than assume that communication is just the effects and the interpretations that people have. To give the benefit of the doubt, to check in and say, what's the intention here? And we will discover often that people have good intentions, and yet we assume bad intentions simply because we looked at the effect on us rather than what they desired. We need to give each other the benefit of the doubt, to give slack to each other. To do this, really, is a way of celebrating well-intentioned blunders. Shalom.